I don't have any eyebrows. Oh my god. All right, here we go. Yo, my name is Sebastian Savela. First of all, Happy New Year. 2020 is finally here. So this video is going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to talk about personal finance or investing. I'm going to be talking about New Year's resolutions, more specifically about having a plan and setting goals for 2020. I mean, I think they're related, so it's not completely off topic. Every new year seems so hopeful. It feels like it's a new beginning and that things are going to be different and hopefully better. But I'm sure we all know that the new year doesn't really change anything. I mean, you're still the same person with the same habits, doing the same things. But what's great about it though is that it's a good point of reference. You could easily use January till December as your time frame to see how you're progressing every year to reach your long-term goals. No matter how stupid or overrated you think New Year's resolutions are, they're important in helping you know where you want to go and how you could measure the progress you've made. I used to think they were stupid too, but then I realized every successful person or business, they have year-end meetings where they analyze their goals from the previous years and they review what worked and what didn't work. If their goals weren't met, they set strategic plans for how they can improve and they set new goals for the upcoming year. So if I also want to be successful, why wouldn't I do that? I could have made this video about how to make smart goals, but you could easily Google that yourself and learn about it. What I want to do instead is review the goals that I had for 2019. So last year, talk about what I was able to achieve, my failures, what I learned, and what my goals are for 2020. Okay, let me pull up my notes so I could read to you all what I wrote. So these are the goals that I had for 2019. So number one, save at least 20% of my income after taxes and 401k contributions every month. Number two, improve my credit to higher than 740 so I'm able to get the best terms and interest on a loan. Number three, real estate. And that involves a bunch of stuff like read at least 10 pages about real estate every day, understand which Chicago neighborhoods are best to invest in, practice analyzing properties, learn about strategies I want to use, and network. Number four, read at least 5 books. And these are books about personal development or real estate. Number five, write every day. And then the last one I had on here was say positive affirmations every day. So it's a pretty simple list, right? So the major thing that I had was to learn about real estate, and I added a bunch of different things around it to help me achieve it and build confidence. So now let's go through each one of them and see how I did. Okay, savings. So I knew I wanted to buy an investment property in 2020, and I knew that I would need a good chunk of change for a down payment and for reserves. So saving for me was a priority. So I downloaded the Mint app, and that helped me better manage my finances. And once I knew what my core expenses were, I knew exactly what would be left over after I pay all my bills. So for every paycheck I received, I put at least 20% of it into a high yield savings account. So I take paying myself seriously, and luckily no major unexpected expenses came up this year. So I was able to keep up every month and never miss a month. So I was able to achieve that goal. Credit score. Again, because I'll be buying a house, my credit was also a priority. So I make sure to learn about how credit works from watching a couple of YouTube videos and reading a couple of articles from different sites. And after learning that, it was off to the races and taking action. I mean, I didn't start the year with bad credit, but I know I needed it to be above 740. And last time I checked, the average of my 3 scores was around 784. So I'm good there. So for my real estate goal, my plan there was to learn as much as I could. I started out the year super excited and I just dove right in. I was online reading Bigger Pockets articles, going to real estate meetups twice a month, driving around to get a better feel for different neighborhoods, going to Zillow and other similar sites to look at what was on the market, what I could expect when I buy, and running hypothetical numbers to be more comfortable at analyzing properties. So some months I'd be really into wholesaling, and then I'd learn about tax liens and be really into that, and then it was house hacking, etc. So it got to a point where I was doing way too much and it became unsustainable. I mean, I was super motivated in the beginning, but it got increasingly more difficult as the initial excitement started to wear off. Real estate has always been interesting to me, so I wasn't gonna stop learning about it. I just needed to change my approach and only focus on a couple of things at a time. I mean, I'm no expert, right? But because I stay consistent with learning something every week, I now have a better understanding of what I want and what to do to get it. My reading goal. So this one was kind of hard for me because I was never a reader. And I learned that successful people read a lot, so I wanted to incorporate that into my routine. So I was able to read the 10 pages every day at the beginning, but that also got difficult to keep up with. Because I wasn't used to it, I couldn't focus long enough. I always wanted to check my phone or my mind would just wander off. I found that it was easier for me to learn by reading articles online or watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts. I mean, I could focus more on doing those things than sitting down and reading a book. I mean, I was still able to read those 5 books, but it was mostly due to how motivated I was in the beginning. And then it started to feel like I was just reading just to hit my goal. Writing every day. So just like all my other goals, this one started out great. So I was writing about everything. So what happened that day, my feelings, my thoughts. But it got to a point where I was using all this time writing and I wasn't really benefiting from it. So I couldn't use it to help me get stuff done or organize my thoughts because it was too random. So I changed the way I wrote. So I now primarily use my phone to write to-do lists and ideas that I have. And I find that it's quicker to type on my phone than to write something down. And I always have it with me no matter where I am. So I like that better than having a specific time every day to write something down on paper. So I tailored that goal to be more realistic for me. And then we got affirmations. Well, that one was a straight up fail. Like, I really couldn't do it. I mean, I tried writing positive things down every day, but that kind of felt weird. Like I was imagining my future successful self and writing that I was going to make it or how much money I was going to make and so on. And then I tried to get in front of the mirror and give myself pep talks, and then I just felt like silly and stupid. I know a lot of people benefit from doing that and it subconsciously boosts their confidence, but it just didn't work for me. That's a no for me, dog. So what did I learn? At the beginning of the year, you feel like you want to do as much as possible as soon as possible and just crush it. I mean, you feel with optimism, but what ends up happening is that reality starts to set in. So you had a routine up until that point, and all of a sudden you start doing a whole bunch of new stuff. It slowly starts to overwhelm you, and you start making excuses to not do something. And then you start to doubt yourself, and limiting beliefs starts to set in, which causes you to eventually quit altogether. One thing I learned is that building new habits is not easy, and it takes time and discipline. And it's also okay to not achieve all the goals that you have set for yourself. It's okay to fail. You just have to keep trying or figure out a different way to accomplish your tasks. Yes, I did accomplish a lot of the stuff that I wrote down, but a lot of times I had to rethink what I was doing and readjust to make it work for me. So aside from reducing my workload and taking small steps every week, one thing that kept me on track was my surrounding. So first, my girlfriend is just killing it at her job, and that's super inspiring to see and kept me super motivated. And then going to these events and meeting these investors that are doing the things that I want to do, or watching successful people on YouTube, or listening to them on podcasts, or these few books that I read really kept me going. So you can't be successful on your own. If you surround yourself with like-minded people, then it will be easier to stay focused and stay on track. So what do I got planned for this year? So 2020 should be a big year for me, and I'm super excited about it. So first on the list is buy a 2 to 4 unit investment property and house hack in the summer. One benefit of house hacking is that you're able to save on housing. So number 2 on my list is to contribute that extra money to my Roth IRA and potentially max it out. Number 3, that's paying more than the minimum on the debt that I have. I mean, I'm already doing that, but if I'm able to save a lot of money on housing, then I could be more aggressive. And once all that debt is gone, my savings rate is gonna be on another level. I'll be able to save 30, 40, maybe even 50% of my income. Number 4, that's being more organized. So a lot of times I feel like I'm all over the place and I don't have a clear vision for what I want to do. And that's where I think that writing something down on paper will help me organize my thoughts. So instead of writing something down every day, because I know from last year that that won't work for me, I'll set a time every week to write something down and organize my thoughts. I mean, I'll still use my phone to write my to-do lists and ideas, but I feel like a notebook is a better place for writing things down to really have a better vision for what you're trying to do and plan for the long term. Number 5, that's reading 5 books. I really want to try this one again because that's a habit I want to pick up. I mean, reading articles is fine, but the books have more detail. I mean, you get a better picture and a better understanding for the author's point of view. So I initially started to make videos so I could share the stuff that I was learning with the people I know. So at first I was just sharing the full videos everywhere, but I knew deep down I needed to focus on one platform if I wanted to reach more people. But having a full-time job and knowing how much work it takes to plan and record and edit a video, I felt like, or I got worried that I wouldn't have enough time. But a couple of weeks ago, I decided to take the leap and just do it. So I chose YouTube. So number 6 on my list is to grow my channel to more than 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Last time I checked, I had 40, and I'm so thankful for all 40 of you that subscribe, but I still got a long way to go. So if you're watching this right now and haven't subscribed yet, please do so right now, and then tap the bell right behind it just to get notified every time I upload a video. Number 7, that's work out and stretch consistently. I mean, like my girlfriend tells me all the time, all this saving and investing and being financially independent doesn't mean anything if you can't enjoy it because your health is terrible. I mean, I always worked out in the past, but I was never able to stay consistent for a long period of time. So this year, I'm going to try to stay consistent for an entire year and see where that gets me. And number 8, that's decreasing my Instagram and YouTube consumption. I mean, these 2 apps are my biggest distraction. I mean, if I use the time that I use on them on anything else, I'd be an expert. I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm not at the same time, if you know what I mean. So there you have it. A lot is happening this year and it's going to be tough, but I'm up for the challenge. I mean, if I want to accomplish my goals, or if you want to accomplish yours, you must put them down on paper so you could see them all the time and have specific deadlines. Then you have to take action and adjust along the way. And remember that failure is just part of the journey to success. You just have to be accountable and consistent, and don't beat yourself up too much if sometimes you don't do the things that you said that you would do. And then at the deadline, you look at what you did right and what you did wrong, what worked and what didn't work, and then you set new goals based on the data that you gathered. That's how you make progress and grow. That's what I plan on doing this year, and around this time next year, I'll see how much progress I've made. So that's all I got for today. If you think this video was helpful and you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And if you have family or friend that you think might be interested in that type of content, share it with them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.